So for my veterans in the house, thank you for coming. Thanks for joining tonight. I'm getting back. We just finished up a transformation challenge, so I'm getting back into the cadence of doing these. So any requests for them, hopefully you find some value, but let me know. Shoot me a message. You got my email. Nutrition's on the docket next. So if strength gets you excited, hopefully nutrition does as well. I'm Coach Tom. I run Stoked Metabolic, work with a lot of the Rise and Run family, and tonight strength training for runners. So unlocking speed, power, and just injury-free miles is the goal. So as I tell you a little bit about me, where's everybody chatting in from? Just drop it in the chat. Let me know where you're tuned in from, even if you're one of my vets. I know I see about 5 or 10 of you in here.
Oh,
Ooh, Tucker
let's see.
Jordan.
Where's the chat?
You good, Kathy. So while I chat about me, I've been running for, gosh, 2017 was my first run. I was always the last kid to finish a mile in high school. That is my claim to fame. Last kid to finish. They were all waiting on me to get back into the AC, and didn't work out a day in my life till 23 years old, 24 years old, lose track of time now. And spent 10 years in corporate logistics. And on that journey, I found fitness and I said, I need stress relief. And then I fell in love with fitness and ended up becoming a fitness coach, coaching group fitness, and ended up coaching a lot of runners in group fitness. And I realized that was my weak point. So what do you do if you're the last kid to finish a mile in high school and running's your weak point? You can do the strength all day. You sign up for a 10K, you sign up for a challenge because it's Disney. So you run a 10K in your first half marathon all in one weekend, and then you look in the mirror and say, what the hell did I just do? So that was kind of my crazy moment. And I fell in love with the Run Disney races. First weekend was Star Wars and did it 2 years in a row. Got married the third year, so I couldn't do the race that weekend. And then there was a little global pandemic that shut those races down. So I kind of fell off the bandwagon running for a while. And again, with the bad decisions I make, I signed up for my first dopey as soon as they brought him back. And I am guilty. I did no training for that dopey. It was a big mistake. I do not advocate that. I do not tell anyone to do that. But I still survived. I had no injuries, no pains, and I attribute a lot to the strength training. So give me, we got Jacksonville. That's my backstory. Jacksonville, Clearwater, Columbia, Nashville, Pittsburgh. We're all over the place. Port St. Lucie. I talked to somebody else in Port St. Lucie today. At least I know you're in Connecticut. Jersey, SoCal, Ocala. You're not too far from me. We got people all over the place. All over the place. What's everybody training for? I'm gonna ask a lot of questions because I love interaction as I do these. But before I dive into the juice, the meat and potatoes.
First dopey here.
First, Dopey. Who said
Yes,
that?
sir. Cat.
Oh, it was Cat. I know you're doing your first Dopey. Cat and I've been working with each other for what? A year now?
1 year in May.
1 year in May. So we're on a year and a half. First Dopey she's going for. A lot of springtime surprise out there. Oh, Chicago, Honolulu, Dopey number 4. All right, a lot of dopies in the house. So hopefully you take some value from this tonight. You get through injury free. You can incorporate some stuff. If you're working with me already, then you're well on the track to getting there. And just elephant in the room. Type it in the chat if you've done strength training in the past. If you've been sidelined by an injury, you've been swept, or you failed to get in your PR. Just throw me in the chat. You got a yes, and I don't need to know which one it is. I'm just curious. All right. My chat's around. Boom.
I don't know how to do the chicken.
Couple been swept. Hey Megan, you didn't get swept at Halloween, even though you were told you were going to. You didn't do it. Go. All right, all right. So a lot of us in the same boat. That's just if you've been swept before, if you've been sidelined by an injury, these are normal things. Failed at getting a PR. You cannot Much to my irritation, you cannot get a PR every workout. You cannot get a PR every run. But I just want to let everyone know you're not alone. And it's a next race. I always tell like make this one different. I think I told that to Megan. I sent her a voice note after some coaching I didn't agree with from someone else and said, Megan, let's make this one different. And with Megan, I say the reality is nothing's different unless she did something different. I tell everybody that unless you do something a little different, then nothing's gonna change. And she ramped up her training, she ramped up her diet, her nutrition, and Meg, I'm proud of you. You hustled and you got it. And now we got like what, 5 more race weekends to go to say you got your version of a perfect season. She's on mute, but she threw a heart in there, so we'll take it. So, all right, next question before I dive into meat potatoes. Biggest goals. What's everybody's biggest goal right now? And this is me moonlighting because people keep trickling in. We were at 32 when I started moonlighting. Now we're at 52. Finish strong, no injuries. Walk in the first half marathon. Beautiful. POT. POT, I like it. Finish with no injuries. A lot of those. Figure out the best strength options to help me with running. All right. Hopefully I help you out with that. Hopefully I help you out with that tonight. Scale of 1 to 10. How important are the goals? 1, you couldn't care less. 10, it's everything. Oh, Amy, I could have bet that would be you. 10, it's my why. Jared, 7. Jared, we got to get you more on top of that.
Oh, I didn't do that.
Krista, I love that. Krista, and I will, put me on pause, Krista, if I share too much, but Krista's working back from a knee injury. She's been fighting a rough knee and she is not letting go of her perfect wine and dine. She's like, I'm doing it. And post surgery, she's out here to crush it. And I'm gonna chase you down on that course if I have to power walk with you the entire damn time.
You might need to.
I think we'll do it. I think we'll do it. Scale of 1 to 10. We got a lot of tens there. Scale of 1 to 10. How confident are you in getting there?
We'll see how this weekend goes. I have 9 mile walk. 10K, I'm not worried about.
All right.
It all depends on my placement in the corral
Woo.
because them ladies walk faster than I do.
We got some 4s, some 3s. 8s, 9s, and 10s on wanting the goals. We got some 3s and 4s on being confident. I don't like the gap. I want anybody I work with. Megan's a prime example of somebody I said, I am 10 out of 10 positive. Even though your running coach might have said you're not going to get it, I'm 10 out of 10 positive. You are crossing that finish line, that you are putting a medal on your neck. So I don't like the disconnect. I don't like the gap. And just like I told her, doesn't change unless you change. Things, it's not going to happen if you keep doing what you've done in the past. She did stuff different. She made it different this time. And she got the support she needed. So super excited for that. If anybody needs accountability on the journey, shoot me an email that says interested and we'll get you there. And then now I finally got my slides to load and I can stop moonlighting and then we dive into the good stuff. All right, let's see if I can get my share screen to work. Well, first, what is your dog's name, Bridget?
Oh, this is my Luna.
My
She's
Luna.
8 months old. She's not supposed to be in here. I was hiding. That's who I'm hiding from.
All right. I have a Pomeranian that will scratch the door any minute. You
I
probably
think
just
that's
heard me.
what she did. I'll probably be in trouble later.
Nothing wrong with that. Unlocking speed, power, and injury-free miles is the goal tonight. So let's jump. There's me. I'm silly. I should have probably showed that while I did it, but I like to run around in costumes. That's probably why I do Disney. They judge me at the local races, but it's not about me tonight. Tonight, you're going to discover, why strength training, I believe, is the missing link for runners out there. The 3, I'll call them the 3 must-do lifts every runner should master. Pairing strength and running without burning out. the weekly template you can use starting this week. If I already work with you, you have your template. I would not recommend. You could add some of these in, but
Yeah.
most of them were you're already doing. And then injury
For what?
prevention strategies. So we'll run the gamut, and hopefully I don't go. I'm not allowed to go over on time tonight. My wife told me because Survivor premieres tonight, and let's get my if we got Survivor fans in the house, you know. So common reds. I work with a lot of runners, and common things I see, common headaches, runners falling into traps where they struggle. The big pain points, same pace, no progress. You're just not getting faster. Things aren't improving. Nagging injuries. This is the one that kills me as a coach. I hate seeing people sidelined by
Mhm.
injury. It is killed me listening to Krista's story for a while, seeing her work through that. But she's working back. She's gonna finish. I love that in the Zoom, I can see someone painting their house. I told you I will get distracted. That is awesome. That is amazing. More miles and no results. So that's one thing I find. Instead of trying something new, most runners will add. I just got to do more miles. I got to do more miles. Got to do more miles, and that just kind of that'll lead into those nagging injuries, and then just being confused in the gym. I as a coach of group fitness for 9 years, I am a professional people watcher. So I watch, I assess, and I realize not a lot of people know what they're doing in the gym. And as someone who loves fitness and loves strength training and now loves running, I just want to like jump in and talk to everybody. And then my wife wonders, why are you at the gym for 3 hours? Look, these the struggles are all normal. If any of it sounds familiar, you're not broken. You just, you're probably not following the right system. So look, my regulars know that the title never pops up right away. So really why I feel strength training matters, these are the big ones. These are the big ones. Running economy, does anyone know what that is?
Mm.
I would guess it would mean getting the most bang for your buck.
It's a good answer. It's a shock you're a teacher, Megan. It's a shock that you educate people. The most bang for your buck. I like that way of putting it. But, you know, strength training is going to improve running economy. It makes each stride more efficient, less costly in terms of energy. So, as Meg said, more bang for your buck. So, when you build stronger muscles, primarily in the legs, the hip, the core, core gets underlooked a lot. You can generate a little more force with less effort. So, that means you can maintain faster paces, you expend less oxygen, and then anybody ever fall in? You could throw a hand up. I can only see 60 in the chat, but I have a feeling people have, I know a lot of people who've just fallen on the course. I've done it myself because I get squirrel brain and I look at things and if you haven't learned that in the past 10 minutes, then that's it happens. I see shiny things and I look and then I trip and fall, but strength training also enhances neuromuscular coordination. So that allows the body to recruit the right muscles at the right time, helps with balance, reduces wasted movement, and you know, over time, ideally, you should notice your posture get a little better. Every time I read the word posture, I have to sit taller. You get more stable, your stride mechanics become better, and a lot of that just contributes to the smoother running, more economic running. So the more efficient the muscles are, less energy you burn, better running economy. Also boost speed and hill power. Now I know a lot of people don't, I'm certainly one of them, don't love hill training, but I think all sorts of trainings have their place. The strength work really increases speed by improving power production in the legs, efficiency in that stride cycle. So if you're strengthening key muscle groups, the glutes, the hamstrings, the calves, the core. You notice I didn't say the quads. The quads get work just naturally by running. The glutes, the hamstrings, they get a little less. Calves tend to get some work. Core, it works, but it doesn't come into play as much. When you put it into play, you're going to end up developing, ability to just generate greater force when you push off the ground. So that translates right into just longer runs, being able to sustain longer, faster strides. The stronger muscles, they're gonna just, they store more energy, release more elastic energy. So you're going to be feeling good. You're going to be moving more efficient and quicker turnover in the feet, quicker turnover in the feet. And hopefully I didn't go too sciencey on this one tonight, but I that's what you came for. I think we came for a little bit of the science and why it benefits. So combine all that with just better stability, you reduce the injury risk, you can maintain higher speeds for longer periods, makes you faster and more resilient athletes. There's a reason I feel like I'm 4 dopies in with knock on wood. I got my fifth and I'm saying no injuries, and that's just a quick way to jinx myself. And that takes us into, just bulletproofing your body against the injuries. Again, don't advocate it for anyone, but my first dopey signed up, did it for charity, and did it to prove I could do something I never thought I could do, and I didn't put in the work. It's it happens. I dropped the ball, and I had raised all this money for charity, and my brain told me you shouldn't do this. You're stupid. You should quit. You should pull out. My friends all told me the same thing, and my heart was like, dude, you raise money for Team Girls on the Run of Central Florida. You better get your tush out there and start running. Like, take it 1 mile at a time. Once I passed mile one, I said 47.6 to go and just did it. And strength training, I think, was the most effective tool in injury prevention for me because it really, especially a lot of runners I work with, it addresses the many imbalances, the weaknesses you see with overuse injuries. So you strengthen the muscles around key joints. So you got your hips, your knees, your ankles. You build greater stability. Again, it all comes back to stability, support. A lot of that reduces the stress that's really placed on the ligaments, the tendons, the connective tissues, all that fun stuff that nobody thinks about until they end up sidelined with an injury. And a lot of that stress just comes from repetitive running motion, just moving back, forth, back, forth. It also helps with correcting the imbalances. So big imbalance. I mentioned it before. The glutes get weak. Runners just by nature tend to have weak glutes, weak hamstrings because they're not the prime movers. The quads are really what's powering you. But then those legs get imbalanced and hey, I got knee pain. Well, you got a super strong quad. You got a weak hamstring on the other side. This one's
Mhm.
pulling on the knee. The hamstring's not, and it just you get imbalanced, and that just adds extra strain on the joints. And once those miles start getting up there, it's no bueno. So the stronger muscles too, I firmly believe it helps reduce the impact and you absorb more of the impact forces with each step. So I weigh every bit of 215 pounds as of this morning, and I don't really feel those pains just on the road. My body's able to absorb that impact, absorb the forces. So even though I have a repetitive load on the bones and the soft tissue, I get less pains, less aches, and you know, I can't remember the last time I had shin splints. No issues with the IT band, and just those common issues. Runner's knee, knee gets creaky every once in a while, but that tends to be because I get a little I get a little cocky on the squat rack sometimes. I try to challenge myself in all the different ways. So more resilient body basically just handles higher training volumes, handles faster speeds without breaking down. Posture. Anybody ever think like posture has nothing to do with running? When I hear somebody say that, they're like, "Well, what the
Oh,
hell's
yeah,
what the hell's posture got to do with running?"
a lot.
Strength training, even the very first lift I'm going to talk about in a bit. Very first lift. I don't want to get into it too much, but it's focused on improving the posture, focused on helping you stand taller, which as you're running, you get tired. Air coming into the lungs, we get tired, we start to cave, the airways close a little bit, and now you're gasping for air. Now you're gasping for air a little more. Before, I don't know if I click the next slide. I'm going to click the next slide in a second, but I'm going to go into the chat. I mean, that last clue might have given it away to somebody. But any idea, anybody want to take a stab at what those three exercises might be? Guess it in the chat. That's
Mm,
well, I could take a sip of water.
Back and shoulder, the lats.
Back shoulder, lats. You're going muscle group, and I'll talk about which ones
Oh,
those muscle groups hit, but that's solid answers. Solid answers. Man, you only got one of them so far.
I would have to say deadlifts for your.
We'd have to say deadlifts. Weird. That's the first one I had. That's the very first one I got up there.
Oh, I'm not. Oh, there it is.
I should give you a
I
prize.
wasn't even paying attention.
I should give you a prize for that one. Quad dominant. So you're thinking about the body.
okay.
Body's broken into, we divide it down the center. You've got your anterior chain, which is the front end of your body. The posterior chain, that's the back end of your body. Anterior chain tends to get a lot of work. The quads get a lot of work when you're running. They're really engaged. The glutes, the hamstrings. So you always see we see runners stretching the hamstrings after. It's a good idea. It's a good idea to stretch after. Somebody remind me about talk about stretching towards the end because I don't know if I added that portion, but I will get there. But we want to fix those imbalances. So deadlifts, especially good for runners. They target that posterior chain, glutes, hamstrings, also the lower back. So if you're somebody who suffers from lower back issues, the deadlift's actually a very good exercise to do when done correctly. So, I see a lot of, I work with chiropractors, physical therapists, and they're all like, no, deadlifts are fantastic. People shouldn't be scared of them. People hurt the lower back because there's a weakness there. So train to get rid of that weakness. But those three glutes, hamstrings, lower back, they're critical for powerful running, so efficient running. Those are the muscles that drive hip extension. That's the key motion that really propels you forward every single stride. So stronger posterior chain, think better, stronger push off the ground, more forceful push off, better stride mechanics. And again, running economy. I'm big on running economy. I don't want to be burning more energy than I have to because I got 48.6 miles to run in like 4 months and the countdown is on. Deadlifts, for all of you that said core in the chat, I will give you a bonus point. Deadlifts are the sneaky core killer. Why? Because they work the lower back, right? No, they don't work. They help the lower back, but that core has to work to protect the lower back. So think along the lines of bracing for a punch. If somebody were to throw a punch at you, first thought is to pull your belly button into your spine. That's bracing the core. That's bracing the core, and it really those deadlifts, core comes in, really wants to protect the spine. So all that just helps reduce energy leaks, maintain good posture, especially when the fatigue sets in, like I was talking about before. Outside of the performance, connective tissues, that's a big one for me. They improve the resilience of the hips, the spine, and just lowers the risk of a lot of the common again, I get to talk to a lot of runners and work with a lot of runners. I have less hamstring pain. I have less IT band pain. And that a lot of that comes from just incorporating deadlifts. So I try to teach teach the runners at work how to hinge properly. So that's usually when you hear about somebody throwing out their back, it's because they didn't learn how to deadlift or hinge properly. What's the old saying? Lift from the legs, not from the back. Time to go to pick someone up. Lift from the legs, not from the back. So it's that hinging. Just try to give you a little when the hips go back. I like to think of it as, if you got a thing full of groceries and you're trying to close the car door with your rear end, you push the rear end back to hit that car door, hit the door behind you. But you learn how to hinge properly. You're going to generate power safely. The deadlift's going to build your strength. It's going to build durability and really does translate directly in a faster, more efficient and just injury, hopefully injury resistant running. That's one where I would say, well, if you could only leave tonight and start incorporating one exercise, I would recommend the deadlift. But I told you I give you three tonight. So I gave you three. Split
Split
squats. No, I
squats.
jumped ahead. Who hates split squats?
Me.
So I do too. I do too. I do, 2 I do 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 2 just sucks the life out of me. It is the
Yeah.
split squat, and why I include it for runners. And big thing I wanted to really emphasize tonight. I love that I found this picture. Deadlift, you kind of want to have a little weight to it. You can also do a hinge movement like a bridge to really work on the glutes and the hamstrings. But look at that young lady doing split squats. She's in the office right now. She took the shoes off, pulled out the yoga mat. She's got, she must have a lot of work going on because there's two monitors there, and she was like, I'm gonna knock out some split squats. So that's why that was my favorite picture for this one. But split squats and lunges, excellent for runners because they mimic the single leg demands of the body. So one leg you got one leg moving, one leg planted on the ground. So they mimic that single leg demand that the body needs while building the strength, while building the stability, while building the balance. It's running, if you think about it, if we dialed it down, dumbed it down, it's really like a series of single leg hops. So any exercise that's going to train one leg at a time is going to help you as a runner just strengthen the muscles that stabilize the hips, stabilize the knees, stabilize the ankles, and uh, I'm no spring chicken anymore. So me bulletproofing my knees is something I want to do. I never want to be the person, and my veterans, you've heard me say this 1,000 times. I don't want to be the person that needs help getting off the couch or needs help getting out of the bed or has to use the little, the metal bar on the side of the toilet to sit down unless I squatted too heavy that day. Like I want to be mobile for until they put me in the ground. So all about knee, hip, ankle health, all of that. So split squats, another one. While they target the quads, they also target the glutes and the hamstrings in a way that just improves. When you look at her, when she goes up, it's going to improve that power, that push off, and it controls it helps you control the landing, the descent on that move really helps control the landing. So I think mimics a lot of what your legs are doing during runners. And by doing that, you're gonna just you're gonna you mimicking it is a very good thing there. It's just gonna expose and correct the imbalances. So you got everybody's got imbalances in their left side. It's normal. Like I get it from moms all the time. Any mom I work, they're like, my right arm's stronger. And I'm like, you said your baby's two. There's a reason your right arm's strong. You've been holding a child for 2 years in your right arm. Normal thing. We all have imbalances. The split squat is, I call it like it's the silent killer. It's like the hunter for imbalances. It will find them and then it will make you pay for them and you'll cry to me later. But really helps you find them between the right and left leg, which that reduces the risk of overuse injuries that tend to come from favoring the right side or favoring the left side. I mean, go to my chiropractor. He's like, "Yep, your right leg is longer than your left. We've been working on just fixing that." He pulls my left leg out on the regular. So, and any movement, I'm 6'2", big tree, fall hard. Like I've taken my fair share of stumbles. So any movement that is going to challenge my balance, even though I despise working on it, is going to be a win for me. Anytime you got a balance like she's doing, you're getting core engagement. You're locking that belly button into the spine, teaching your body just how to stay stable, stay efficient in a position very similar to running. I have to look up at my top screen. I can see you all on the bottom just so I can reference the picture of the young lady up there. But result, with split squats, stronger, more resilient legs, smoother stride mechanics, and better overall running performance. Number three, and I stuck with leg ones. Stuck with leg ones. I try not to get too sidetracked tonight, but I stuck with leg ones, even though I think the overall picture, if you ask anybody on here that I work with, I tend to do a lot of total body stuff because I never want to smoke out your legs completely. I want to help you find balance in the entire body because look, your shoulders, your chest, they help propel you while you're running. But if I'm focusing on the legs tonight, we'll go to number three, the step ups. That is such an aggressive step up. Don't try to be like her, man. My knees just ached a little looking at her because that is really aggressive there. It's one you can build up. You could step up if you've never done it before. Step up a foot, step up to a bench. You don't have to go that far, but really good for explosive hip drive, stability. Great for runners because it closely replicates that movement pattern of running, driving through one leg, propelling the body upward and forward. Makes it highly functional for just building single leg strength. I like this single leg stuff because it just fixes that imbalance, and we're driving up through one leg, propelling the body up. That chat is popping off. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Looks like your height. I hope I'm the reason you survived your hike through Galapagos, okay? It's because I've made you do step ups in the past, my dear. Ah, Galapagos got me distracted, reminiscent on Megan's trip. So strengthening those muscles individually, breaking them apart. Step ups help correct the imbalances, between the right, just like the lunge, the dreaded split squat, the Bulgarian split squat, which everyone hates, but they really help balance things out and just phenomenal in my opinion for preventing injuries and improving efficiency. Again, another one challenges balance, challenges core engagement. I've never been on a race course where it's been 100%, 13.1 miles of beautiful, flat road. Well, if you run Disney, it's all flat and paved and perfect until you're in with a million people and you got people pushing you off to the side and you're going between grass and pavement. So that stability, and the overpasses. I mean, I work with somebody that met the train tracks in the wrong way. I wonder if she's on here tonight. Met the train tracks in the wrong way at Disneyland, and her balance probably saved her. Alicia, step ups are so underrated. Good. We got a running coach coming out here just preaching the same thing I'm preaching. I love that you're here, Alicia. They are so underrated. I'm gonna give you more of them. But yeah, they really do help you survive that uneven. And I know not everybody does run Disney. Some people, oh man, Carrie, I don't even know if she's on here. She just did a trail run, came in like second in her age group. This woman I work with, third in her age group, and she said never again. She don't like running through the dirt, but she was like balance. Balance helps. Having all that. Step ups again, explosive drive through the hips, through the knees, push off power. A lot of that translates longer strides, stronger strides, and just faster running speed. So as much as they're not fun, I do like to do them, giving everybody. I tend to combine those with split squats when I program because it really, really helps balance it out. Never run Presque Isle. I don't know which one that is. It's pancake flat.
I think the total gain is like 20 feet, but it's pancake flat, all pavement
Where is that?
in Erie,
Okay.
Pennsylvania.
Welcome back.
This has been a tough couple of days.
Well, it's my first time seeing you since you've been back. You made it.
The jet lag has been real.
Now, the jet lag's real. You're surviving. I wouldn't be Coach Tom if I did not, come up with set my brain out to make this, and then about an hour and a half beforehand, say I need to add one more slide for exercises, and I added the bonus lift in there. The calf raises. I know if I already work with you, you can curse me all you want, but I'm a firm believer in calf raises. I think they're great for runners because they strengthen not just the calves, but the Achilles tendon. So, two areas that just play a massive role, not just performance, but that durability. So, this one's so easy to relate to people. We say, "Why, Coach? I run a lot. Why do you make me do calf raises? Why am I doing more calf raises?" Just imagine yourself running right now. Imagine yourself running. What is the first thing outside the foot that fires? It's that calf. And what's the first thing that takes the impact from the foot when it lands? It's the calf. The calf has to absorb a lot of impact. A lot of impact, and really every stride is going to rely on that calf just taking the impact and also generating power as you push off. Even if you're not, I use the term power a lot. Even if you're not a sprinter, if you're not, that's not in your goal. You still need power to propel off the ground to drive forward. So strong calves just more forceful strides. Again, running economy, improved speed, and think that elastic spring of the Achilles, that bounce that the Achilles tendon does. So it just allows you to store energy, but also release more energy more efficiently with every step. So beyond just those performance benefits, I lean on the calves, just building resilience in the lower legs. They reduce the risk of common injuries like shin splints, like Achilles tendinopathy, plantar fasciitis. The calves are just often, and I hate to use the term a weak link, but a lot of people just don't. I mean, I watch people in the gym all the time. I never have to fight for a calf machine. I never see other people doing calf raises unless they already work with me. And I'm like, yeah, that if you're logging a lot of high mileage, strengthening those calf muscles
Hmm.
creates, just more powerful, more efficient, and just, hopefully injury resistant. I don't want to say injury free stride, but injury resistant stride. My coaching, like coaching for 15 years, one of the things that kills me is seeing somebody sidelined by injury. Sorry, we talked about Krista, and Krista, I keep putting you on blast because you showed up tonight, but really, really did I don't like seeing people injured because I've been injured myself. I tore my bicep 10 years ago being a stupid kid hanging upside down on monkey bars when I'm realized I'm not a gymnast, and it killed me being out. So my goal, keep people injury free. And if this is, I know I've got probably a bunch of people. We gonna get there, Christy. We're gonna get there. I got a bunch of people that I work with regularly on here. I'm glad you showed up. And some of them do it at home with dumbbells. Some of them do it at a gym. Some have dumbbells and barbells at home. But I wanted to give y'all tonight ones you could do without any fancy equipment, just simple moves you can do just consistently and regularly. Even if this is the last thing I see you, if I never see you face again, hope I do. But these are the ones you could really incorporate fairly easily without a lot of equipment. You don't need to get crazy doing them. So let's see. Oh, how to balance strength and running. I wish I could see my roster on who's in here because you actually have an inside look at my wife's current plan that I built for her. So based on her goals, this would change. This would change for everybody. So everybody's going to be a little different based on your goals, based on what you're working for. But she is currently will give you, and she was the first one I thought to pull up because I don't like sharing too many people's information without their permission. She is currently training for dopey. We know dopey is taxing on the body. It's metabolically taxing. You burn a lot of calories, and her concern was that she would lose muscle along the way. So this the program I built out for her. Said, look, we're going to do 2 to 3 days strength training, 2 to 3 sessions a week. You're going to run 3 days, and if you look, she's actually on the running side of things. She's following the Galloway Dopey plan right now, which I built into there for her. So it's easy to follow and takes one less thing to think about. So she's got 45-minute runs Tuesday, Thursday,
Mhm.
Saturday the 4th. It is one of those fun double weekends that we all look forward to. She gets a walk and then she gets running. We tend to look at those walking days as the rest days. We're big Disney people, if you didn't learn that by now. So we'll go walk around the park that day. We're not really focused on the stride. We're focused on getting the steps, getting the miles. But if you're doing if you're doing easy run days and it's like, look, I'm having a 30-minute chill day, you could totally do full lifts, full extra. You can double down on that and you're not going to see too many issues. And then give yourself, do that Monday with the lifts and your run if that's how your schedule works best, and you get a full rest day after. I'd recommend, if running's your priority, you're training for a marathon, do the run first. Always put emphasis on the priority. So maybe run in the morning, go lift in the afternoon. Tuesday becomes a rest day, lather, rinse, repeat. But I find this balance kind of has been successful for, I hope it's been successful for all of you that I work with on here, but it's been, I find it to be the best and it works for me. My calendar looks almost exactly the same. Mobility and activation, because I haven't talked about that yet. You need to do a calendar You know, Amy, I just realized that that's my calendar view of what I program for you, and you can't see that. None of you actually, that's what I get to see as I build out your calendars. None of you get to see that. I can screenshot it for
And
you.
that's, yeah, because that's so nice for my OCD. I absolutely love that. Like to just be able to go in and click. I click it off in the app, but to click it off and see a visual like that on my month, I need to do that.
Oh my gosh, send me. I'm gonna set a reminder right now. We got time. So I'm gonna set a reminder right now to add it to your to take a screenshot and send it to you on October 1st when you get the new month ahead. So then you'll be able to see and print it yourself. You know, now Dale's gonna ask me, Angela's gonna ask me, a bunch of y'all gonna ask me for that. We'll just keep adding it to. I wish I could show you that view, just so you have a good visualization on what's coming. But yeah, that's the view. That's the view on Tom's end. Mobility and activation. So, God, if you don't ask, like, I'll be the first to admit when I make mistakes, and my mistakes as a younger fitness person were I'm just gonna lift, 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 lift. Didn't work on any cardio, and then started coaching group fitness. Started coaching group fitness and doing having being forced to do cardio and had to fall in love with it real quick so that I could know what I was coaching people through and slacked on mobility for years. Mobility is one of those things where you don't know how much you need it until you don't have it. You don't realize until it's gone and you're like, I'm tight, things hurt again. I never want to be that person that struggles to get out of bed. I never want to be that person constantly in pain and going through all that. And I never want that for people. So mobility is a huge one. I do recommend that on the hard run days. Now, I'm gonna preface that one thing that makes me cringe. One thing that makes me cringe is seeing people do static stretching prior to exercise. That's running, that's lifting, static stretching. So think just a static hamstring stretch, anything like that. You're pulling the muscle and then you're gonna break the muscle down. It puts it very much at risk for injuries, very much at risk for injury, and it's not a good thing. When mobility, think dynamic movements. So moving the body around, swinging the legs back and forth, side shuffles, lateral shuffles, all that fun stuff. Things to get the blood flowing, the joints moving, but you constantly want to be moving through the range of motion. You constantly want to be not holding something. I would never hold that. And again, coaching group fitness, I would see people doing in the lobby, and I'm like, no, please don't do that. You're about to go run your face off for 30 minutes, and we're weakening the muscle before we actually go to use the muscle. So that's one. Save that static stretching, 100% do it, but do it after the run, do it after the lifting. That's a big one. That's a I'll preach that all day and get the dynamic in. That's one of the fun things. If you're not doing mobility work and you already work with me, like they're in the on-demand library, you need to just be doing more and more of it. I promise you'll feel better. And for others, I will have a little mobility plan coming, a short, sweet one, short, sweet little fun one. But strength training about 45 to 60 minutes. 45 to 60 minutes. You don't have to go crazy, unless you're a gym rat and you love being there. Like me, I'm actually in the gym right now. That's why you have the background. I'm in the lobby. I'm hanging out. I'm not actually. I'm not actually. Just trying to make sure we're still alive here. And mobility can be done for 1 to 20 minutes. I say 1 to 20 minutes because I'm going to make it real simple. We talked about calves, we talked about ankles. You could, while we're sitting here, do ankle alphabet. Spell the alphabet with your feet. And you can do, I'm doing it right now. I'm spelling with my feet. You can do that for 60 seconds, especially if you're somebody who's in the desk, if you're somebody who's at the desk, for a while. And it's just good to loosen up the ankles. It's good to loosen things up. I can turn my chair, bring my leg up and down. I'm mobilizing. The OT in me loves the ankle alphabet. Oh, you occupational therapist. It's my sister. I'm allowed to hassle her a little bit. I didn't know you were here. What's up, baby sister? All the way in from Connecticut. I'll probably owe you a FaceTime. Well, I'm gonna get a nasty text after this. I teach ankle alphabets at yoga class too. Nice. Do you think doing strength on your off running days makes them too sore to run the next day? So, Christy, I'm going to go back to what I programmed and how I personally tend to program, especially working with runners, is I do lean towards a little more of a total body approach for majority of the year. That doesn't say I don't do a full-on leg day every couple months for people just to wreck the leg day, but I do like to program. All right, let's just say I know Kat tends to have an easier leg day or an easier running day on Thursdays because her work stress is driving her through the roof and she had to fire somebody or something like that. So I'll program her leg day on Wednesday when I know she needs some serious stress relief. And that's when we'd hammer the leg day. But looking at Kim's right here, like that pump day one, it's more of a total body routine. So we're not smoking out the legs, so we're not getting too sore. And we're really just taking the volume, volume of work on the chest, volume of work on the chest, or volume of work on the shoulders, and we're spreading it throughout the week. So somebody that does 4 sets, let's just call it 12 to 15 sets of chest work on Monday would get the same results doing 4 sets Monday, 4 sets Wednesday, 4 sets Friday. And that's something, I used to do the bro split all the time. It was chest and triceps Monday, back and biceps Tuesday, skip leg day. That's why I used to have chicken legs. Thursday was shoulders, Friday was arms. I would just be like, you know what, let's work on abs on Wednesday and skip the leg day. Because I used to hate leg day. They call that bro split because that's what a lot of the dudes in the gym do. And start getting older and things start hurting. If you hammer on your chest and your chest and your triceps for an hour, they're gonna feel it. They're gonna feel it. So yeah, no leg days the day before running. And then, as races come up, that's when I say, hey, you got 2 weeks for the race. Let me know. Let's let those legs fully recover. Again, let's always focus on the priority. Let's shift gears. We'll take the legs away, still get the upper body moving because I know you love to move. But we'll shift gears. We'll get rid of legs, let them recover, and again, focus on the priority. Be prepared for the race and what your big thing is. Injury prevention. Again, warm up with mobility. Those dynamic stretches, do them, do them, do them a lot, do them some more. And really, it's probably one of the better things I've incorporated myself. Prioritize form over weight. Again, do as I say, not as I do. So, I was like, again, young me, I think since my sister's on here, she's probably seen me with my back aching and not able to get out of off a couch because I throw out my back thinking, you know what, I'm gonna try to deadlift 505 pounds. You feel called out in that picture. I'm sorry. That wasn't meant to call you out. But yeah, always prioritize form. You'll get so much. I watch people in the gym all the time, man. I watch people in the gym. I can't emphasize that enough. Kind of making myself sound creepy now, but I'll see, I'll see somebody. Let's call out the dudes in the room. I'll see a dude with a barbell on it and 45-pound plates, and he's swinging his back and he's throwing them up and he's grunting and his whole body's rocking him up. Amy's nodding her head like, "Yep, I seen that. I seen that." And you see that, and then I look at the guy and I'm like, his arms are all right. Eh. But his lower back probably is a nightmare because he's swinging things around. So you will get so much more bang for your buck on just prioritizing that form. Core drills, I could have. We're already approaching on an hour. Time flies. Core drills, the big ones. Again, things you can do right here. You could go onto your floor right now. Maybe not Bridget because she's got the dog there, but you could go onto your floor right now and you could do planks. You could do bird dog. So if you've never done a bird dog before, palms and knees on the floor, right right arm goes forward, reaches for one side of the room, left leg goes back, hold it for about 2 to 3 seconds, lather, rinse, repeat on the other side. Really good for the core, really good for the spinal stability. But I 10 out of 10 do recommend those. sample like just a little taster. If you were to just incorporate these at home, if you're not doing any strength training, if I already programmed for you, just just go have a sip of water right now. Go have a sip of water, but sample 30-minute routine, 8 deadlifts, 10 split squats each leg, 12 step ups, hold the plank for 30 seconds, lather, rinse, repeat. I'll add that to the on-demand library for those of you that want to do a little extra leg work for my crew. Somebody remind me on the group chat tomorrow. But that's a good solid just sample 30 minutes that you could take advantage of. Get you through it. Recap, we talked a little bit about why runners plateau without strength training, the 4 must-do lifts. See, I fixed it there. How to balance lifting and running, injury prevention strategies, and then the plug and play weekly routine. I will I'll send out this replay to everybody, but I did want to leave a little time for questions. So if I can find my unshare screen, you know what, and see what do we got? Do we have questions tonight?
Yeah, I have one.
Do it.
I'm struggling with the balance because it's my own fault because I get fired up and I'm like, all right, let's fricking do it. And so I do my tempo run, then I lift and I'm working on my nutrition. And Wednesday, Thursday comes and I'm spent. I'm having trouble balancing all the running that I'm doing now because I'm doing a lot more speed work now with the lifting and not feeling burned out by midweek.
Not feeling burned out by midweek. The
Yeah.
first thing is, it sounds like you are doing all of the things. Give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. This is something I have to remind myself all of the time. All of the time. My internal alarm went off at 4 o'clock this morning and said, get up. You have so much to do to make sure I was prepped to hang out with you all. And then 1 o'clock hit and I was like, oh God, I'm starting to fade. And I hit that midweek slump and I was like, I'm trying to burn the candle at both ends. I'm trying to do all the things. And I walked in, I said hello to the missus, and I came and hung out with y'all. So first off, give yourself some grace. No one ever died from missing one workout. No, tonight it's our survivor night. We're eating tacos and I will focus on my nutrition tomorrow. And I knew that to get through the rest of my week, to finish my week strong, I need my damn tacos tonight. Like, I don't need to run around with a six-pack abs all the time. So, one meal out is, and I think you do a good job of that. I think you do a good job of that where you plan vacations. You get away. You you give yourself some breaks, but I think, are you coming on the call tomorrow night?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna leave some more time and unpack that. Look, you already have a busy schedule, and I'm making you come on another call tomorrow night.
Yeah, I'm going to think about it a little bit more and come prepared.
All right, we'll unpack that more.
Awesome. Thank you.
Unpack that more. I'll leave time for it. Tomorrow we talk snacks in our group, coach. I feel that so hard. I eat my tacos. Chelsea, I support it. I support it. I slacked since the summer challenge. Kathy, no better time to get back on track. No better time to get back on track. An axis board to help with my ankle stability. Ooh, man, that's a whole nother ball game because axis board, you're gonna need some training on that, and you'll need some good stability if you ramp it up. It's not the full one, right? Is it the full one? Or is it just it's fairly stable, right?
Here, so I'm gonna take myself off mute and I'll show it to you real quick if I can pull it up well enough. Sorry. Um, I don't know if you can see me well enough.
We see you.
Sorry, I was off. That was off camera. So this is the one I have.
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
Yeah,
At
my
first I
chiro
was thinking,
recommended it. My chiro recommended that I use it to help with my ankles just because they get a little weaker. Everything you talked about, like I do all those exercises, but my posterior chain is my weaker link. So
I'm gonna order one of those and possibly add that into my routine and then comment on it more on a follow-up. But I can definitely shoot you a message like some routines you could do with it. But I wanna make sure I've played with it efficiently. I never recommend anything I don't test out first. And I haven't been on that one. I have tried my first thought was you were talking about the Slack band. Have you seen that one? Let's see if I can pull a picture of it. The Gi board it's called. Well, let me put the picture in the chat. Man, this thing's brutal for balance. Yeah, I'll throw the link in there. That's what we'll do. Copy. It's almost like you're stepping on a rubber band. It's not a doesn't make me feel the most stable, but it is good. It is good. That's I've played with. I'm trying to get a picture of it. But I will do some research, and once I do, I'll get you some positions on that. I'll do a video on my YouTubes just in case, you know, you're not on any of my other channels. Check on YouTube. Once I order one, I'll do something on there. Sophie loves a planned rest day. I feel productive by crossing it off my list for the week, but it's rest. I like that. I mean, rest day is good. Rest day is always going to be good. Michelle, this is not the regular group coaching call. This is the running call. This is the strength training for runners. Prepare your own meals. Does it count if I eat one of the meals that I meal prepped yesterday for the week? Yeah. Yeah, that's meal prepping. You prepped your meals. I have one
All
of the
right. Now
exercise.
then, I'll catch that for the other links.
God, it's almost like the challenge once that was over, y'all got used to the cadence of having 15 calls a week. Well, I'll send everybody an email with this replay. You bookmark it on YouTube if there's something you want on there. If you want to share it with somebody, I'll send everybody the replay. Next week, I'm going to be doing inside my Facebook group a 5 day short. I'm thinking like 5 to 10 minutes, 15 at the max, depending on how many rounds you do, mini challenge. So every day, as long as you register for it, you'll get an email with the exercises listed there. You'll get the exercises in your email for you to run through. It'll be just a workout of the day, little mini challenge. So that'll be in my Facebook group. So I'll put a link to the registration, but make sure you're in the Facebook group. That way you can keep each other accountable with the exercises. You can keep any on top of each other and make sure you're doing it. And then yeah, hopefully you join me for the little mini 5 day challenge. And those of you that are in my group already or I work one-on-one with, I will send you that link separately. But yeah, any other questions tonight? No? Y'all are simple. Did I burn your brains out? Did you enjoy it? Did you find value? This has been great. Thanks. I like it. Yes, helpful, awesome, good. Time to hit the legs. All right. Well, like I said, I told Bob over at Rise and Run, he's not here tonight, but I told him I will do one of these once a month. Next month's will be nutrition. So I'm going to get working on that. And again, I'll send everybody, keep an eye on your email. I'll send that email out with all the details. I'll replay the 5 day challenge in the next, I might get it done in the next 30 minutes. So we'll see how fast YouTube uploads this. Well, for now, any questions, shoot me an email, shoot me a text. You can friend me on Facebook, Thomas Stokes. You can send me a message on the Muscle Mouse, but I get a lot on there because Instagram's full of creepers. And yeah, hopefully I talk to you soon. My other crew, I'll see you tomorrow night to talk snacks. Thanks everybody for coming. Bye.